So I was on X and I read a tweet and I forgot who tweeted it, but it was like, deep down, what do you want right now? And I went to the thread and I went to the different comments and the different replies that everybody was making. And something that I noticed was 95% of them were asking for material things. And that's obviously okay, but I feel like humanity has kind of fell down to a point where all you find value in is the things that you have and not the things that you don't have. And I know that may sound weird, but I feel like people forget that sometimes have not having it or not having what you need pushes you to do more with yourself and pushes you to become that person. And I promise you that majority of those people who responded to that thread are doing nothing to make what they don't have into a reality. And I also think and feel that the fact that it is all pretty much just material things and things that they don't have, like somebody saying a trip to a Caribbean or like a MacBook and a new apartment, and like obviously those things are good, but I feel like thinking more and thinking deeper into what you want right now is a lot more important. Like the type of person you want to become, or the type of person you know you're going to become, or like creating yourself like a business. Like I feel like everybody thinks of what they want now and sometimes not about in the future. But I know the post was obviously now, but for what you want deeply now to be a computer or a trip to a Caribbean, like I feel like that is a little like not shallow, but that's not deep at all. Like it's not like deep in your heart. It's not a MacBook or a trip to somewhere. That is just what you want in general. Like I could say I want a new phone, and like that's not deep to me. I want to change my life and I want to help other people change their lives. And that's what I've built my not even audience yet, but I guess my small audience to do, and trying to help them find their way of life and give some insight on whatever it may be on how I live my life and how I'm gaining meaning in myself. And I feel like there's a lot deeper things than just the material things in life. And you probably hear this all the time where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hear this again because I already heard it like growing up or all this like many times. But sometimes you have to hear it multiple times for you to understand that you find meaning in what you give meaning. So if you find meaning, or if you want to give yourself meaning, you have to find it, and you have to actually try to attain something that you want for yourself, not just the material things. Like although I don't want to say spirituality, like you want to feel like free of mind, like you don't want to feel like you're always uncertain. You don't want to feel doubtful. You don't want to feel all these negative emotions because that just holds you down. You want to be happy, you want to be content, you want to be certain, you want to be confident about what you do and all these things that you want to do. And I feel like the like society and all this communities, they've just began to think in a less spiritual way, in like a less like mindful, like mindset oriented way, and all they want to do is think about things like whatever it may be, like a new phone or a new laptop or a new desk, or I don't know, just like the randomest things. But like you have to try to find meaning in more than just the material things. Like if you aim for material things, you're going to be chasing it for the rest of your life because there's always going to be a newer product. There's always going to be a newer thing that is innovated, or a new invention that you just can't get because you're wasting all your money. I heard, like, I don't know, I think it was on a podcast from Diary of a CEO, and it was like from the time that iPhone came out to now, each phone was around $1,000, right? So if you spent over the 28 years or so that Apple has created technology on phones, that would be like around $28,000. And then if you invested that into the S&P 500, or just some stock index that has grown in time, that would be around like $300,000 now. And obviously, this doesn't really connect to it, but I feel like sometimes just aiming for material things now isn't what you need. You need to think about the future. And obviously, the tweet and the quote was about what you wanted now, but I just noticed that society as a whole has shifted away from trying to find meaning in what they want now in themselves, and they just think about the material things and taking vacations and all this other stuff when they should be focusing on becoming their true self and actually finding value in themselves and like fulfilling their life on how they want to be happy. And obviously, everybody lives their own life, and I'm not going to judge them for it, but this was just my insight on how I felt on that tweet specifically.